Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the supply management system and two key components of it. First one being the request for quotation, and the second one being an advanced version of our inventory management system, which also is going to have a web version of it. This web version is going to ensure your blue collar employees do not get complete access to your entire Google Sheet. So, the reason why we need to implement a system like this is to ensure that whenever you're purchasing any goods or services, you are getting the maximum out of the investment that you're making. Also, along the process, you're saving on time and other resources. The features include a web interface to analyze multiple requests for quotations. Now, you can analyze either based on a single product or at an entire PO level. We will also have two centrally registered, supplier and product, databases using which the entire system is run. Centrally stored PO lists are also going to be available. PO is also sent for approval before it is actually sent to the final vendor, whoever is selected. This is password protected. Also, at this stage, you will be able to reject a particular PO so that it has to be re-evaluated. We also have the option to divide PO quantity among multiple suppliers. And the beauty of this entire system is once an RFQ is completed, it can actually be moved to a different file using our archival mechanism, which we'll be talking about in a bit. The benefits include, the fact that you can easily compare, PO either item wise or on the basis of the entire, rate, the total rate that is received. Google Sheet is there in the backend from where you can control and or edit any entry at any point of time. uh, POs can be raised directly from the web itself. You can define the PO in the backend, the PO format in the backend, and we will be automatically sending it out either through WhatsApp and or through email. Notifications to vendors will also be sent whenever you are making any kind of change or requests, and also when vendors are going to be sending you the rates, your team is going to be notified. We are also going to put in a module to automatically send a reminder to the vendors if they have not submitted the quote. This is going to ensure that you save on time and obviously money. So this is how the product database looks like. To update this database, you need to click on this particular button here. This will open up a form like this. Once you have filled in this form, the data is going to appear in a structured format like this. Coming to the supplier database, again, all your suppliers need to be registered and they will be given an individual ID and password for them to log in and update any quote that they need to bid for. You can click on this particular button. uh, this form will open up. You put in their vendor codes and their password and their few basic details, and then submit this particular form. The information is going to be available right here. What you can do is you can click on these check boxes and you can request them for further details. They will basically be able to fill in the rest of the form after receiving an email like this, where they will be able to log in with their user ID and password, and then the information will be available to you. Now, before we go any further, let's jump right into the implementation bit of it. You would have received these two links to basically make copies of these files. So please click on these links and make a copy of these files. The first one is basically the RFQ module of our supply management system, and the second one is basically our version 4 of the inventory management system. Once you have these files open, uh, first open the supply management system and then come to the PO settings page. Please feel free to pause the video at any point of time so that you can go on implementing as we are moving along. So come to the PO settings page. In this PO settings page, the first thing that you need to do is, if you want to link it to your IMS, you need to open your IMS, just copy the URL from your IMS, because this particular URL is going to be unique to you once you have made a copy. So copy this URL and come here and please paste it here. You also need to ensure that the inventory management system that you have is shared with anybody within your organization with editor access, or you also could give individual access to editors, whoever needs it, from the supply management system that you have. Now you need to deploy this deploy link and create your own deploy link. Okay, to create your own deploy link, you simply need to go to extensions, app scripts, click on deploy and new deployment. Click on deploy again. You need to authorize the access from your domain. This is based on the licenses that you would have received from CUIT box. This script will not run if you do not have licenses. Now please copy this link here, second link, and come back to the supply management system. And now this becomes your personal deploy link. We will be talking about the importance of this link in a bit. You can also put in your WhatsApp username and WhatsApp password if you have purchased the gateway from us. This will ensure that automatically WhatsApps are also sent as notifications and at various other intervals. This default web view ensures that how many rows you are going to see in the web interfaces. You can put in your company website link here and your company logo. What happens here is, let me open the deploy link and start showing you one by one. So this is how your deployed link is going to look like. You're basically going to get a web interface of your supply management system. Now in here, you see this image here. This image is basically going to come from what image link you put here in the company logo. And once somebody clicks on this logo, they will be taken to your company website. So whichever website you put here, they will basically be able to access it from here. Now coming to the folder ID here. So you need to create a folder in your drive by clicking on new and folder. Just give it any name. Now once you have created this folder, you need to get inside this particular folder and you need to copy this key of this particular folder. You need to come here and paste this link here. So what this will do is, whatever files are getting created, they will all be placed here in this folder. Obviously you need to ensure that this folder is given access to anybody who needs access and an editor access. Now the next item is the maximum number of items. So this determines at any point of time when a request for quotation is being raised, what is the maximum number of items that can be raised at any given point of time. So if you increase this or decrease this, the form, which is basically the request for quotation form, let me quickly go to the request for quotation form. So let's say if I click on this checkbox and if I click on input form here, so this form opens up. Now in this form, basically we can select a product, we can put in the quantity and any optional remarks that we want to put, we can put in here. So when we click on this button, we basically will get an option to add multiple products. So when we are talking about this number 40, this determines how many times we can click on this plus button. Coming to the PO approval password here, this particular password is going to be the password that the manager, whoever is going to be approving the final PO, will be requiring to either approve or reject or hold a particular PO. So you can communicate this password to that particular manager. Now we need to move on to the CUIT box logo here and first get aliases. So you need to authorize it here at this stage. And once you have authorized it, you will have to run it again. Now in these drop downs, whatever aliases have been set will be available here. Now we have various different templates of emails that can be sent out at various stages automatically. So this particular email basically is sent out during the time when a PO is being sent out to a particular vendor. Similarly, we have multiple different PO templates. These we will look at on the 24th when we are actually going to be implementing, and we will walk you through how you can use each of these tags from these lists here to customize it if you need to customize. Now coming to the two of the most important databases, the first one is the product database. If you are going to be using the inventory management sheets livestock references, then you can simply use this formula which you will find in the cell A3 of the product database to link to your inventory management system. If not, you can delete this entire area and start typing your own product codes and item descriptions, category, subcategory, units, tax percentage, the minimum order quantities, the latest rates, as well as the photos. You can directly put in the data in the Google Sheet here. To update another important database, that is the supplier database, again you can either directly put all the values here by typing it, or you can even do it from the web interface. And from the web interface, you need to click on the supplier database and you need to click on this little button here, which is the input form. Once you open the input form, a form like this is going to open up. Here, let's say I'm going to give it a new supplier name here. And what is important is to ensure at least you have one email address, so that a mail and a WhatsApp maybe can also be sent out to the supplier asking him to fill the rest of these details. You can submit this. Once you submit it, this entire data will basically come here like this. The passwords for every single vendor needs to be manually put in here. These passwords cannot be put in from the web interface. In the web interface, only the vendor codes are basically going to be shown. So just feel free to type in whatever password you like. NV1 here. And now you can go to this interface here and you can refresh this interface. And you see now you have this vendor code here. You can click on this checkbox and you can say request details. So what this will do is it will send an email out to this particular supplier asking them to fill the rest of the details. The template that is going to be used is again defined right here. Request for details mails, right? So this template is basically going to be used to send out an email. This is how the email is going to look like. The supplier would need to click on this particular URL. This will take him to a login page. Now he would need to use the user ID that he has been assigned. Currently, I am unable to show you that particular thing because I am within the same domain. these email addresses all have to be outside your domain. So if it is outside your domain, then they will be asked for a user ID and password right here, and then they will basically be able to uh, feed in the rest of the details. Now coming to one of the most important part of this entire module, which is basically raising the request for quotation itself. To raise a request for quotation, you need to click on this RFQ tab, and then under that, for a new request for quotation, you need to basically go to the input form. So give it a second and the input form is going to open up. Here you're getting to see what is the last RFQ number. So let me take the next RFQ number. I'm going to choose an RFQ date, today being the 16th of December. I'm going to choose today's date. I'm going to give it a job number. If I need to send any particular files to all the vendors that I'll be requesting the request for quotation from, I can add that here. I can put in a submission deadline. Here is the reminder frequency. So if I want to keep reminding the vendor for a submission, let's say every day, so I can put 1 here, or 2, 3, 4, whatever. This is basically the number of days. Now coming to the expected delivery date, let's say I'm expecting this by the 31st of December. I can choose a delivery location here. This again we will show you in the settings from where you can change the delivery location. If you want to put any remarks here, you can put any remarks that will go to every single vendor. If you want to add an additional column where you would want to get the MRPs of every single product that you are asking them for, you can tick this box. Now you are going to choose the list of products which are already part of your product database, which is basically here from your product DB. So whatever is here is also going to be available right here in these drop downs. Now let me put few quantities, and here you can put in a remarks here. If I need to request for multiple products, you simply need to click on this plus sign as many times as you like. So let me take 4, 5 products here, 4 here. Now I need to select the vendors from whom I want to get a quote. So all my vendors are listed right here. Now this list is again being populated from my supplier database. So I'm going to basically move them to the right hand side. So I'm going to ask from TNS, I'm going to ask from ABC, I'm going to ask from Delta Exports, and I would also like to ask HP to quote. I'm going to simply click on submit. Once I click on submit, I need to come back to my RFQ tab here, and here I need to wait till this data is submitted successfully, and then I can click on this refresh button. Now you see the RFQ number 112 is available right here. I can simply choose to click on all 4 of them, or any one of them is also good enough, and I can click on this send button. Okay, so what this will do is it will simply pick up this template here, which is basically request for quotation from the PO settings, and it will do a mail merge with this tags from this particular worksheet, and it will start sending out emails. Now see, these 3 people, these 4 vendors have actually been sent an email. This is going to be the body of this email, and they are going to be asked for a quote against the particular RFQ. This is how the supplier view is going to look like. So the supplier will come here and they will put in their prices, their GST percentages, and any other remarks, and they will click on submit. Once they have submitted, they will receive this acknowledgement mail. Again, the template is available in the PO settings. Once all of these quotations have been received, then we can basically click on this rate analysis tab, and we will basically be able to analyze all the rates either based on a single product or against the total value by toggling this button. This is something that needs a little more explanation. We will be definitely showing this to you on the day of our implementation. Coming to the PO bit of it, a PO can be actually raised based on the L1 value, and once a PO has actually been raised, what happens is the purchase manager gets a notification to approve that particular PO. Now the purchase manager will first need to enter a password to approve, reject, or cancel the PO that has been chosen by the front end team to actually uh, be sent to the particular vendor. This is the PO format. uh, this can also be edited from the PO sheet that we have. As I was talking to you, there are multiple mail formats that we will be talking about on the day of implementation, and we will also show you the settings for archival. So you can basically define how many days after the RFQ has been raised should that RFQ be automatically moved to a different sheet by putting the sheet link here. So this brings us to the basic setups that needs to be put in place before we meet for the class on the 24th of December from 9:30 to 2 p.m. In the meantime, if you have any doubts, please feel free to raise a help ticket and we will be there to assist you. Thank you so much.